Venerable Master thinks that Manila is very important because it is the capital of the Philippines. He asked me to go to Manila, but I didn't understand why, because we had no disciples there. How then should I start? But I could not disobey Venerable Master, and still had to go to Manila. What I had with me were 3 Buddha statues borrowed from the Tsu'an Temple and 20,000 pesos borrowed from the Yuandong Temple in Bacolod. So I brought those things and went to Manila. A disciple offered to let us use the 5th floor of a 5-story building in Arang Market in Bongping. I noticed that he was new to a place and had no acquaintances. In the beginning, I made friends with him out of sympathy. I guess I was baffled. What was this young monk doing here? Every time when he talked to me, he always talked about what I can do for Buddhism in the Philippines. I didn't know until later that he had come to Manila empty-handed. What he had experienced here makes me admire him and realize how great the power of vows is. One should keep a compassionate heart and resolve to bring all beings to the vast sea of Buddha Dharma. Venerable Master Xing Yun has shown great foresight, and Venerable Yongguang has shown a great sense of duty. He came on his pioneer trip to Manila alone. In the foreign land, he embraced Buddhism and was devoted to saving all beings. It's a hard task, but he's never daunted. He took hardship as joy and was happy even though he was as poor as dirt. The place I stayed had nothing but 4 bare walls, no decorations, nothing at all. So I went to a fruit stall in the street market and asked for a cardboard box. Then I bought some rice with 1 peso and then bought a mango. I used the box as a table and put the food on it, and I had my dinner that night. That's how I started the Buddhism propagation in the Philippines. We didn't have any resources or disciples, so I wore this outfit, which became my recognizable symbol, and walked around in the market every day. I met the one who seemed to have wholesome roots. She smiled at me, and I smiled back immediately. She asked me where I lived. I pointed in the direction of my home. He began from the Chinatown in Manila with 4 bare walls and nothing else. Enduring the daily power cut of 8 hours and hot, unbearably muggy weather, with no budget for a generator. But Venerable Yongguang never complained or blamed anyone. When he needed to write his work journal, he'd take his desk out on the hallway of the building and work under the dim light. All obstacles were eventually overcome. We had a small center When disciples paid a visit, they had nothing else to see after paying homage to Buddha, since the place was very small. So I lead them to view Buddhist items. When the power was cut, we put the cabinet outside. Our cabinet has steering wheels, so we could easily push it outside. I introduced the Buddhism items to the disciples, including publications of Guang Shan, books by Venerable Master Xingyuan, and other Buddhism-related material. In the early days of spreading Buddhism, our resources were very limited, so we had to live frugally and pinch every penny. We stayed near the street market, where people sold fish, shrimps, as well as chicken and ducks. Every morning when I did sutra recitation, I'd read aloud. I hope those fish and shrimps could hear the recitation and be saved. I pray to Buddha that the merits of the sutra recitation can be dedicated to the fish, shrimps, chickens, and ducks, so they can be saved and reach the Western Pure Land, Amitabha.